Andrew McGahan here, standing alongside Kenny Florian. Kenny, we were just talking about these blue mats here, but ignore that.
Yes.
How have you adapted to life? Gone from fighter to broadcaster.
I tell you, it wasn't easy. You know, I was just explaining to some guys over there that are giving me an interview. I was saying, you know, it's a weird thing. You know, they used to talk about people who've been in jail for a long time, and bear with me. You know, they've been in jail for a while, been in there for years, and they leave jail, and they kind of want to go right back in because they've been institutionalized. You know, they've been doing it for so long, and that becomes your identity. You know, and I think in some ways. That's what happened to me. You know, it becomes your identity and you struggle with it. And especially in my case, you know, it wasn't really that I kind of decided to retire. I was kind of forced to retire because of my back. I had some injuries and, you know, it was tough. It was a tough way to go out and you kind of look for ways, and I did look for ways to try to get back and train, and I just couldn't train like the way I was doing it before. And for that reason, I wasn't able to go back and had to retire. So, it's tough, very difficult. It's been a very difficult transition, but gladly, I'm still a part of the sport. I still am doing a weekly show in Los Angeles called UFC Tonight for Fuel TV, doing that every week, and you know, it's always fun giving analysis and predictions and breaking down fights, and I get to do commentary for the live fights. So.
And you had done a little bit before you fully retired.
Exactly.
So that made the transition easier, and
without a doubt.
The UFC, were they quick to offer you that when you announced you had retired? Did they say, well?
They actually offered it. You know, I was talking about it, you know, in private with some people, and of course, you know, with guys like Dana White and stuff like that, and that was something that they proposed, you know, before I even knew that I would retire for sure, because I still had hopes of coming back. But yeah, they did. They offered that pretty quickly, and when the Fox deal came around, and I was hearing whispers of this new Fox deal. You know, I had some of the executives reach out to me. I was working for ESPN at the time, and they told me, you know, they were interested in having me do a show with them, and yeah, it certainly made things easier for sure.
Do you think it could be a case of too many chefs spoil the broth when it comes to fighters wanting to get into analyzing fights and stuff like that? Maybe because they haven't got as great an insight into the business.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people, I think some fighters are great fighters, but perhaps don't give the best analysis. You know, it's like the guy who can fight very well but can't teach very well, and the guys who can teach very well but can't fight very well. And it's similar to that. And you know, I'm not saying I'm either or whatever, but I do my best to explain, you know, my perspective on fights and techniques and what the fighters are trying to do out there, and do my best to educate the fans. And you know, I have a great time doing it. It's something that I love to do. I love studying mixed martial arts. I love watching new techniques, new fighters come up, and it's been fun.
You mentioned new fighters coming up. I was going to ask you later. I'll ask you now. Conor McGregor, what do you make of him? Terrible fighter. No, I'm excited for Conor, and I'm excited to see Conor here in the UFC. I think he has an amazing gift for striking, and I think just for fighting in general. But he has the ability to really knock out anybody out there. And when you get a guy with 12 fights or whatever it is, 12 wins and 11 knockouts, I don't know if that's correct. I believe it's correct. That's something special, you know. And I think he carries with him a confidence that is going to be fun to watch, and a style that is going to be extremely exciting to watch. And for that. You know, it's a lot of exciting possibilities for him, both at 145, at 155. I think 145 will probably see him stay for a little while. I know that's where the UFC wants to see him. But Conor is a special fighter, and I think he's only going to get better, and that's a scary thought. And, you know, a lot of potential for him as far as marketability as a fighter, and certainly the most exciting fighter to come out of Ireland. I've been watching his fights, and I've been hearing about his name for a long time, and it's great to see him here in the UFC. And you know, he's got a tough fight tomorrow night, but he's going to be exciting no matter what, and he always delivers. And looking forward to seeing how his career progresses. I'll just ask you two quick things. You said your injury prevented you from training the way you used to.
Yeah.
In relation to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and stuff like that,
Yeah.
have you been able to, are you considering maybe competing in Jiu-Jitsu since you can't in MMA? And have you been able to spend more time with Keith?
Yeah.
Helping Florian martial arts?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I'll answer both of those. I guess first I'll answer the second question first. I'm actually living in Los Angeles. I still have my gym, Florian Martial Arts, in Boston, and Keith's running the show over there. We still have the gym together, but because I'm in Los Angeles to do the show, he's doing all the work and doing a fantastic job. We've had awesome competitors coming up there, and maybe a few MMA competitors in the future as well. My little brother Kirk is now getting into the mixed martial arts game as well, so he's got a fight coming up hopefully in May. And as far as what was the other question?
Would you consider?
Would I consider competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Yeah, right now my only goal is trying to get healthy and trying to get some kind of consistent schedule going for training. And right now I'm just training 2 or 3 times a week. That's kind of what my body allows, what my schedule allows. Whereas before I was training 2 or 3 times a day. So I would love to compete at some point if my body allows it. I would love to compete in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I miss it. I'm training with the gi again, which is something I've missed. I really did get a chance to do that for several years, but now I'm having fun playing with the gi again. And we'll see, man. I just want to get healthy and have fun training.
And very, very finally, yourself and John Kavanagh.
Yeah.
A lot of people said you sounded very similar.
Yeah.
When you started out. Yeah. But now, a lot of events down the line, how do you think you're working as a partnership?
I think we work great. You know, I never heard it. I think there's certain things that we do similar. I think our cadence is similar. You know, we're both from the Boston area. Maybe that's part of it. But I don't think we sound alike necessarily. But I do think
it might be because people were so used to the diverse of
Rogan. Rogan and Goldie absolutely sound so different. They have these booming voices, and we have a different style. And I think at the end of the day, you have to be yourself. I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan, and Anek's not trying to be Goldberg. It's important that we establish our own style, and my goal, my number one priority is educating the fans and trying my best to explain what's going on out there and explaining the level of skill that these guys are executing out there. And yeah, so it's been good. We've been doing a lot of the international shows. We visited some amazing places and met some amazing fans, and it's been great working with John, man. He's great, such a hardworking kid, and a very, very knowledgeable guy when it comes to mixed martial arts. He really does his homework, and yeah, we're going to continue to have a great time.
Excellent, Kenny. Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure, man. Thank you, guys.